Alright, today we're going to go ahead and cook up a turkey. It's not a whole turkey. I've already prepared it here. I go ahead and split the skin and I stuff. There's a whole stick on this side and there's a whole stick on the other side of it. And then in the tray we have chicken broth and a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, and then a blend of seasonings. And we're going to go ahead and cook this sucker at 225. See, we're coming up to temp now. I'm going to clean this off just a little bit and we're going to throw it in there and see what comes of it. So this is actually a Z grills. I don't see too many of them. Don't really see anybody cooking on these things, but she produces some pretty good smoke right off the rip. We are smoking that turkey in there at 225, probably about 4 or 5 hours. It's not a very big bird, probably I think it's an 8.5 pound. And that was frozen and then it thawed under refrigeration. And then our pellet brand is Pit Boss. It's a barbecue blend, hardwoods. I've used it before on the channel, so we're gonna go ahead and use the rest of this probably. We might have a little bit left over in the hopper before I go ahead and switch it over. I don't really like draining this thing off. I'll just cycle through. So we're going to give this a little bit of time and we'll be back to check on it here in a little bit. We've been sitting at temp at 225 now for about a half an hour on this turkey. It's not a full bird. Remember, there's no legs, there's no wings. It's just midsection, so breast and skin. Like I said, I put 2 sticks of butter. It is salted butter, so we'll have a little bit of that flavor from the salt. It's been injected, so you can see the butter is starting to soften and melt under the skin. The meat will start absorbing that. It's been injected. I did inject it with the juices that were in the pan there. What I'm going to do now is actually use some of this kinder seasoning. This is prime steak. This stuff is really good on, I've had it on pork chops and steak now. We're going to try it on this turkey. We're going to smoke this turkey up and season it with the prime steak. It's with a black garlic and truffle. This was also rubbed down in an oil infused with truffle as well. So we're going to have a lot of that flavor. And then top her off with some parsley flakes. Nothing crazy, just some old dried out parsley flakes, just for color really. It doesn't really give it too much flavor, but I like the way it looks. So we'll be right back with an update here, probably an hour and a half or so, and we'll see you in a second. All right, we've hit the 1 hour mark on our smoked turkey. So it's looking pretty good. Internal temp sitting at about 80 degrees, so that's all right. It's coming up good. We're gonna go ahead and baste every hour on the hour. Might rinse a little bit of the seasoning off, but that's okay because the seasoning's all gonna end up back in this tray, and I'm gonna suck it up and baste with the same seasonings. So no big deal. Don't need to reapply any of the seasonings. Knock a little bit of them off. No big deal. It's actually hanging on pretty good. It's pulling up a lot of the fat off of this turkey. You see a lot of the fat on it, which it gives it some flavor. That's a lot of it there. Yeah. Get her all juiced back up at an hour, and we'll see you in about another hour. We're about at the 2 hour mark. I'll go ahead and check it again. The last time it was at 80 internal temp. We're at 109 now, so we're cooking right along. Take a look at this. Yeah, you can see it is still moist on the outside, but it is kind of drying up a little bit. And like I said before, we're going to want to baste with the juices in the pan, which have all their seasonings on them. It's looking good. Gonna continue to cook and we'll be back in a little bit. All right, hour 3. Internal temp at 132. We're looking real good on that. We're still sitting at 125 on the Z grill. The turkey is looking good. It's starting to brown up on the skin there. Still a lot of juices in the pan. I may come back here in a little bit and take some of those juices out, but we're going to go ahead and do the thing with the baster and get that turkey nice and wet again. Using all the juices, all the flavor from the bottom here. So this is all butter and truffle oil, some parsley, some of the Kinder's seasoning. This is the black garlic and truffle. This is smelling so good right now. That's the only bad thing about making these videos on food. It's just a tease. You can't smell what I smell right now. Alright, gonna go ahead and close her up. And we'll be right back here in about an hour for another take on it. I'd say about another hour we're gonna be real close to where we want to pull this thing. And so I think the last time we came, hour 2, we were sitting just over 100, I believe, on internal temp. I'll move that probe the next time we come out just to check it in a couple of spots, but I'm pretty sure I got it right in the middle of one of the breasts. So we'll be right back another hour, hopefully real close to that proper internal temp. We're sitting at hour 5 now. I went ahead, I bumped her up to 275, figured 225 for 4.5, 5 hours is more than enough smoke for this turkey. And I'm trying to get it done. It's Tuesday night, it's 9 o'clock. I'm trying to get this sucker done. I gotta be up at 5:30. So sitting at 150 still. I went ahead, actually covered it up, left the probe in there, kind of sear in there, basted it. It's looking and smelling great. If only we could get the smell to come through the phone here, but still holding. We'll be back probably an hour, 45 minutes. Hopefully that's enough to bump her up and get this thing done on a Tuesday night. All right, it's been a 6-hour cook on this 8-pound turkey. Remember, it's not a full turkey. Oh man, it's delicious. Had it covered for the last hour. It is at a 176. I did bump up the temperature because I was done playing. It's at 176, just in that spot there, but I do have secondary. Get that turned on. Slide that in a big thick piece of meat there. And if we really want to be extra cautious, you don't really need to. You can do that. So we got 167 on this probe, like that, and we're climbing on the old analog here. Oh yeah, beautiful. Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and say she is cooked through and through. No issue there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this probe out. We're gonna take it in the house to rest. I'll slice her up tomorrow. We'll get a little bit of video action of the chunks that come off of it. See if we can see our smoke line real good. Let's just go ahead and throw a little bit more juice right on top of it before we take it in the house. And we gotta go in quiet. Remember, this is it's a Tuesday night, so the family's sleeping. Man, this smells amazing. It's 10 o'clock, Tuesday night. Had the turkey on for 6 hours. We're ready to take her off. Turn this grill off. Just gotta turn my knob. And she does a blow down cycle, so she'll burn what she has in the field out. Alright. We'll show you what it looks like all sliced up.